Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. I am so excited that you're here. I'm Deb Erickson, and this is Ask Deb. And I want to welcome you to an amazing conversation this morning. I'm going to be having with a top leader. Now, let me just talk for a minute while everybody's getting on and getting ready. It's great to see you guys as you are popping on. But Vicki Dixon, my guest today, she sent in a question that talks about helping her team through kind of that really tough emotional place when business gets hard. In other words, what do you do when the bad stuff happens, right? People leave your organization, when people disappoint you, when people are not doing the things they say they're going to be doing, right? When people begin to quit, how do you handle the disappointment? Now, I'm going to talk to you today both as an individual and as a leader. So in other words, as an individual, how do you manage your own mindset when business gets tough? Right? Because come on, we're entrepreneurs. And of course, there's going to be disappointments. But then in addition to that, we also want to look at what do you do as a leader, right? As you are managing your own mindset and you're managing the mindset of your entire team. Does that make sense, everybody? All right. So while we're waiting here, let me select Vicki. Vicki, I see you, but I can't seem to add you. There's no little add button. So maybe try to go back, jump out and jump back in. So I hope you heard that, Vicki. I see your name, but I can't seem to add you. So maybe go jump out, jump back in, and let's see, if I get the little add button. Hopefully you are sideways. I can't add you in unless you're sideways. All right, so while we're waiting for that, I'm going to jump in and get us started. So my name is Deb Erickson. I am a business mindset coach, and this is Ask Deb. What I do at least a couple times a month is I get on and I handle the burning questions, right, from women in our industry. And if you are a member of our coaching membership, you have access to send me questions all the time. What I do is pick a question that I feel like is going to have a huge impact for lots of people. So I know if you're a leader, you deal with this. And if you're coming here as an individual today, you're dealing with this for yourself. All right, let me just check again and see if you are here. Vicki, same thing. I see your name, but I can't seem to add you. Can't add you in, Vicki. All right, so I tell you what I'm going to do is I am going to use Vicki's question. You can try again, Vicki, and in the meantime, I'm going to just jump in. So here's Vicki's question. Vicki has a significant team, right? Significant team. And as she's growing her team, what happens, of course, is that there are times in our business, whether it's seasons of the year or it's just the way the business goes, right? Where you're going up and down and up and down and up and down. In other words, that's just the way the business goes. There are ceilings and there are basements. People come and people go. But Vicki's question is, how do I keep my leaders motivated and keep their energy good when the bad stuff happens, when the stuff that we don't want to happen? So maybe sales drops and recruiting falls off and people are quitting. Maybe there's a rash of people returning product, or maybe just nothing's happening and it feels like as a leader, your leaders are losing faith. So how do we help people keep the faith? You guys kind of get the question. All right, so let's jump in. So first I'm going to talk about what you can do preemptively. So what can you do in advance? Let's start there. So in advance, there are two big issues I want to talk about today. One is set realistic expectations. Realistic expectations. And so what I mean by that is people, when they're entrepreneurs and they're coming into this industry, there's one thing that's really important. They got to have the ability to dream, right? They got to have the ability to see the big picture and hold the vision. So they have to have that optimism and that ability to dream and see what isn't yet there and hold the vision of that. Now, what happens to a lot of people as they gain that access is they go into magical thinking. And magical thinking would say, nobody's ever going to quit, right? Everybody's going to say yes. They're all going to come. They're going to stay forever. But that's not realistic, is it? What's realistic is that people will come and they will go. There are seasons in people's lives. And so what happens as people have seasons in their life is they also have times where they're going to change their mind. They're going to come, they're going to tell you, I'm in, baby. I'm going to do this 100%. I'm fully engaged, and then change their mind. Life happens, timing happens, financial struggles happen, and as all that occurs, their passion, their decision, their commitments change. And so as leader, when that happens to your people, as you're looking at your people and you're going, wow, they said one thing, but here's how they're showing up a little differently. Or I've poured all this energy into them and now they're going to leave. I wasted my energy. As you see that, you've got to have the expectation and the interpretation, right, that says life happens. I'm going to leave this relationship in the best possible condition so that I leave the door open for her to come back, okay? But life happens. So I'm going to bless and release. And there's a great neural tool for that, right? You just bless and release, leave the door open so she can come back. So number one, let's have some realistic expectations about life, about human beings, about decision making, about priorities for families. Got to have realistic expectations. Got to dream and then have realistic expectations. But let's talk about the second thing that's critical preemptively, is that you must understand the math of the business, the math of the business. Now, I disagree with guys who say, it's all about the numbers, right? And success is just a numbers game. I don't believe that success is a numbers game, because I believe success is an energy game. It's a belief game. It's a thought game. It's a behavior game, right? But I do believe that there's math in the equation, and you got to know the math. You got to know the math, right? I'll give you a great example. One of our marketing strategies is that we offer people a $1 trial. We say, hey, you want to come try our memberships? You can try it for 7 days for $1. It's a $1 trial campaign. Now, guess what? We know the percentage of people who will come in and try it and then opt it to stay in. So we know the conversion rate. That's the math, the conversion rate. So what that means is, because I know the conversion rate, I understand how much money I can put into ads, right? So I can put in, if my conversion rate is 60% and my monthly payment is $69, I know that I could spend probably, right, about $45 per trial and still cover my costs, right? So I know the math. So I don't get worked up when somebody calls the office and they're like, yeah, I don't want to go on, I'm canceling. I go, oh, okay, that's one of the 40. That's one of the 40% that are going to choose not to go on. I know the math, and so therefore I don't take it personally. You guys get this. I'm going to lead to this next issue in just a second. All right, let's see. All right, I was trying to see, Vicki. I can see you. I'm trying to see if I can let you in so we can talk. Still can't. Not sure what the issue is, Vicki, but thank you for being here. So I'm answering your question, Vicki. All right, so point number one, ahead of time, we're going to set real expectations. Number two, we're going to explain and teach our consultants the math of the business. Now, the math of the business is, how many approaches does it take to close someone and have them be a customer? How many approaches or invitations does it take to get someone to join your business? How many people have to join your business in order for you to get the right amount of people who are going to stay in the business? How long in general can you retain people? So, you might have a retention of a year and a half, right? 18 months. Whatever it is, you want to start keeping the numbers. Your company has numbers. You should have your own numbers so that you know the math. You know what to expect. And so here's how that helps you what math does is it allows you to look at a specific result and not take it personally. So it can be an impersonal statistic. Does that make sense? So here's the thing, as women, we are personal. We build relationships. We get invested. We pour our heart and soul. But when you pour your heart and soul into something and you know there's still a statistical norm for how long people are going to stay and what they're going to do, you know the success rates, you know how long people are going to stay, then what it does is it allows you to create just a little bit of distance with the specific. Let me say it again. You want just a little bit of distance from the specific. What women tend to do, here's the bad thing. Well, let me tell you first what men do. What men do is they are all numbers and statistics. So if somebody quits, they're like, you're lost, okay? And they see it as a math equation. Women, we take it personally. So we get invested and we pour it in. And there's some part of us that feels like, well, it should be permanent, right? Like almost like it's a relationship that you would have with a family member, right? Which is much more permanent. And so what happens is we start questioning, what did I do? How did I offend her? What did I do wrong? What could have I done better? And the problem with all of that, we get our feelings hurt when someone decides to go, right? Here's the truth. People make decisions based on them, not you, them, what's best for them. And so when you see somebody's decision and you're able to go, well, they must have felt like that was the best decision for them, I can live with that. Can you feel how that kind of allows you to have just a little bit of separation? Now, that's also based on whether or not you loved and supported unconditionally. Okay? So here's another thing that's really important, right? You must love your people unconditionally. You must nurture them unconditionally. You must teach them unconditionally. Because if you have a little scorecard in your head that says, I did this for you and this for you and this for you and this for you, then what's happening is you are creating really a scorecard that says they owe you. But here's the truth. It's your job as a leader. It's your job to support them and love them and teach them and train them and coach them. That's your job for however long they stay. And it's true, the better job you do, the more of a length of time they probably will stay. But it isn't going to change the fact that some people are going to leave, right? Life is going to happen and they're going to leave. So as we stop taking things personally as leaders, as we stop letting our emotions get hurt, right? And we stop doing that. Here's the second thing you got to stop doing as a leader. You got to stop focusing on what you don't want. So when somebody leaves, if you say, you know what? I hope this is the best decision for you and your family. The door is always open. I'd love to have you come back, right? Come back anytime. So we leave the door open. We bless and release them. Here's something that's really important. You must let go of the focus that they left. And instead, you want to pivot and focus on what you want instead. So what you want is to have a great relationship so that they'll come back. What you want is to find people who will stay longer and commit deeper, right? What you want are people that are so internally driven by their own desire to build an extraordinary business that they stay. They choose to stay. They choose to continue to engage. You guys getting it? All right. So as we pivot and we focus on what we want, guess what? This is where your ideal builder, that avatar that we built in ICAN Sell and Recruit class, that's where this comes in, right? Every single morning, you got to be focused on what you want and why you want it. Yes, you want to grow the business. Yes, you want to hit these targets, but you want to focus on the specific people that you're looking for. And when you're focused on a specific person, please hear me. I'm not gonna focus on somebody who'll stay forever. I want to focus on somebody who is highly committed, somebody who has business savvy, someone who looks at our marketing plan and goes, wow, I want to be a part of that. That is incredible. It's an unbelievable product. It's an incredible marketing plan. I want to build the business. I want to get invested in time and energy. That's who I was looking for. What about you? Who are you looking for? Now, if you're a part of our membership program and you haven't taken ICAN Sell Recruit, please get in there right now and create your ideal avatar, your dream business builder and your ideal avatar for both your customer and your business builders. You guys get it? Because when you are obsessed on who you want to attract, the kind of people you want to attract, and the development level of the people you already have, how you want to develop them, you're focused on what you want. Now, remember, there's a reticular activating system in your brain. That's the part of the brain that says, I'm going to laser focus in on whatever you give your attention to. So let me just show you. If you are looking at what you don't want, I've got my feelings got hurt and this person committed and I poured my heart and soul. I invested so much time and energy, and then she didn't appreciate it and then she left. Okay. Now here's what's really interesting. I get it. That's really what happened. And it hurts. I understand. You're a human being. However, stay focused on it. And guess what you're going to attract more of? You're going to attract more people who match that description, because that part of your brain doesn't really care, guys, if what you're focused on is leading you towards your goals and dreams, or if what you're focused on is going to lead you away. It doesn't have the distinguishing quality to go, action, Deb. That's going to lead you away from your dreams. That part of your brain doesn't know that. All that part of your brain knows is whatever you focus on, that part of the brain will bring you more. You guys got it? It will bring you more of what you focus on. So when you see yourself looking at what you don't want, stop and pivot and focus on what you do want. So get back into your avatar. If you're in this class, in my class, you have actually created a vision board of that avatar. Every single night, every single morning, every single day, you got to be looking at it, obsessing about it, focusing on it, getting that as your focus. You guys got it. All right. Last thing I want to tell you is that you need to have gratitude in advance. Gratitude in advance for all that you are intending to create. So gratitude in advance simply means this. Okay, I look at the thing I'm experiencing and I was like, I don't want that anymore. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to pivot, focus on what I want. And as I focus on what I want, immediately I'm going to jump into gratitude. Gratitude elevates my energy. Gratitude shifts my vibrational hum. You guys have heard me talk about that, right? So that I'm humming in alignment with attracting the very thing I want. You guys get it? This is big. This is powerful, because when you are attracting the energy that you're looking for, it gets bigger, it gets bolder, and it picks up speed. You guys getting it? I hope this has helped. And those of you who came in late, let me just kind of wrap this whole thing up. What we're talking about is, as a leader, how do you help your people keep the faith? How do you help your team when they are discouraged, when somebody quits, when somebody returns product, when they miss a mark? How do you help keep their energy big? So here I gave you 6 keys. First, the keys are for in advance, which is number 1, set very realistic expectations. Teach people the math of the business. Because number 1, that helps women not take things personally. Because we know the math, we understand, we have reasonable expectations. That's the first step. Then the second step is, okay, now what do we do when we're in the middle of it? Okay, we tried to set reasonable expectations. We tried to teach them math, but now feelings, right, are raw. What do we do now? It's really easy. Now what we're going to do is say, okay, guys, stop taking it personally. Stop that energy of being offended and hurt. You can feel hurt for 2 seconds. As long as it takes you to snap your finger, you need to be over it, girl. Because if you let it stay any longer than that, here's what's going to happen. You're going to start turning and focusing on the very thing you don't want. And the more you focus on it, the more it's going to show up, the more it's going to be in your face. So guess what? You're lining yourself up for more hurt feelings and more disappointment, more investments that don't pay off. However, when you stop and you pivot and you focus on what you do want, when you focus on your ideal avatar, when you talk about the person you're trying to attract, when you obsess about what it is you intend to create, and then go to the next step, begin to express gratitude ahead of time. As you begin to do that, guys, it all changes. It all changes. So will people never quit? No, that's not realistic. Of course people are going to quit. You're dealing with human beings, and human beings have life experiences. It's going to happen. But you don't have to be dragged down the depression funnel. You don't have to go somewhere that you don't want to go emotionally. You guys got it? So you can keep the faith, and you can help keep your team motivated and focused on what they want. So basically, you got to come up with your own little phrase. And mine is, it's all good. It's all good, right? All is well. And so when something occurs that isn't what I wanted to have happen, I've got to immediately snap out of it and say, you know what? It's all good. It's all good. I know the math, right? I know the math. I understand. Now, what I'm going to do is refocus on who I'm attracting next and what it is I want. You guys got it? All right. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you so much for showing up with, and playing with us. Do me a favor, now that you've seen this, ask yourself who needs to see this video. Who on your team has been frustrated that maybe they're not getting the results, or people are quitting? Who has unrealistic expectations? Who is it that maybe has been living kind of in magical thinking, la la land, and they're not being real? Who is it whose feelings have gotten hurt and they've gotten emotionally distraught? You guys get it? These are the ones you want to share this with. Share it with leaders, cross-line, up-line, sideline, downline, anybody who you say, man, whether I'm connected to this person or not, I know them and they sure could use a little dose of Deb today. You guys got it? Thanks for sharing. Thanks for tagging people. Last thing I want to do is leave you with this. I'm going to ask you a question. Okay? And you can put your response below. Here's what it is. I want you to ask yourself, how much time do I think I have wasted throughout my career, however long your career is, getting so personally invested in people's decision to not show up or to quit or whatever it is? How much time have I invested, which has been that has been a complete waste because you focused on the wrong thing, right? I'm asking you a question, guys, and I want your response. I want you to be able to say, too much time, right? I have invested, what, hours, days, weeks, months, years, invested in the wrong thing. And I want to ask you this question. Imagine if you were only off track for an instant. Imagine if you took the hit of being disappointed and then you adjusted your focus, you pivoted and moved towards what you wanted. Imagine what would happen in your business if you didn't take it personally and you knew how to stop the negative, pivot and pause and focus on the positive. Imagine where you would be. I'm here to tell you that there's a really good chance that you would have either doubled where you are right now, or you would be where you are with half the effort and energy. Because here's the truth, guys. The thing that drains us the most is our own emotional energy, our own emotional investment in disappointment. Your own emotional disappointment, your own emotional frustration, your own negative emotion is more draining than anything anyone else could ever do. Time to manage your emotions. You guys got it? All right. Thank you so much, Vicki, for a powerful question. Sorry I couldn't get you connected today, but I love you and I appreciate you. And thank you for all of, if you're in my coaching memberships, I appreciate you guys. Keep sending in questions. These are powerful and I want to be able to share answers with everyone. You guys got it? All right. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.